strategy, though. Let me ask you about strategy, because she was in Georgia last night. She's got to win Georgia, right? We saw President Obama on stage with the vice president. Bruce Springsteen was there, Spike Lee, Sam Jackson, Tyler Perry. I mean, it was star-studded. Get out the vote for the vice president. It seemed to really, though, be the strategy was, this is a fight for our future. And she was honing in on what an untethered Trump presidency would look like. With Georgia being this sort of must-win state, you're saying, though, that's not the right strategy. She should talk more about her policies?
Yeah, I don't think it's the right strategy. I think if 9 years in, you're still undecided about Donald Trump, you know, like, what else are you going to hear? Like, what is, with all due respect to her, what is she going to tell me in the last 10 days? Somebody's go, oh, I didn't know that about Trump. Oh, heck, now I'm not going to vote for him. That's not it. She's got to close the deal for her because she's a lesser known quantity. And you said, well, people knew Joe Biden. Yeah, but Joe Biden's been in office for 50 years.
But she's been putting out her policy ideas. He has a concept of a plan. Don't they hear that?
Well, and obviously, I think some do. And I think her job is to say now, what is her presidency really going to be?
She has 80
And the other night on CNN.
On a website.
Like, look, and yes, but most people aren't going to go and look at that, Sonny. You know that.
I looked at it.
It's going to be, well, you're not most people.
We're doing here what Charlemagne the God was talking about yesterday. We are holding her to this high standard of her closing message needs to be this and this and this and that. His closing message is Arnold Palmer's package. Right. Yeah. Dancing for 39 minutes like a wacko job.
It was generals.
You're making fries at McDonald's, so why don't you tell him something? Why don't we talk about his closing message? What do you think about that?
What I think about that is that he is who he's always been, and he's not going to gain any voters in these last 10 days.
That's the point. I mean, you don't want to talk about his.
No.
You're spending all this time
Something I don't want to talk about it. I'm not criticizing.
Let's be
clear, Anna. Well, then you got to open your ears. What I'm saying is trying to give her suggestions on how I think she can close the deal.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's, the bottom line is I'm not here to be a cheerleader for her. I'm here to say, based on what I've learned in politics over time, what she needs to do to close the deal. She's got an opportunity to go up. I don't think she does.
Okay, but Republicans who are having a hard time, right, closing voting for her. You think hearing... And I'm talking about national security Republicans who care about the military. You think hearing John Kelly say that he is a fascist and that what he said about Hitler doesn't make a difference to those Republicans?
I don't think. I think those Republicans have already figured out that they don't like him, or else they're Republicans. They'd be voting for him. What they're trying to figure out is, okay, I don't want to vote for him. Am I going to vote for her or vote for no one? Yeah. That's what they're trying to figure out. Because those undecided voters
you think hearing from John Kelly doesn't help them?
No. I think hearing from her about, and I thought one of the things she did on CNN couple of nights ago that was really good was when she started to say, I'm going to be practical.
Yep.
I want to get things done. I'm going to have a to-do list. He's going to have an enemies list.
That was a great
like, that's what people want to hear. They want to hear that government's going to stop being this perpetual argument, and it's going to be something that's going to move forward issues that you care about. If she can convince people that she's not going to be a partisan Democrat, but she's going to be a president for everybody, even the people who didn't vote for her.
And collaborate and have people in. Because that's what I was going to say is that during the town hall on CNN, there were mixed reviews. There were people that felt she wasn't clear on the border wall, taxes, the Middle East. There were people that felt she kind of walked the line. So what do you think that she's doing is landing with people, and what is like missing?
In the view talking about the election is soon approaching. Looking at the election, we're talking about the governor, Christie, who came to the women in the views, and he was giving his own opinion. According to Christie, Kamala Harris might not win because she have to have a mind of her own. During the time that she was being asked about the border control, she did not come clear with it. So according to Christie, she doesn't really believe that Kamala Harris have a mind of her own. So when they ask Kamala something, Kamala should just go ahead and be saying it rather than just quoting and staying or buying that. So the women in the views are saying that Kamala cannot put Biden under the bus. So there are some things that they ask. According to Christie, Kamala could have just said that no, I am not the one responsible for it. You know, President Biden was the one responsible for it. So why are you people blaming me for what he did? But the women in the view said that could have not been nicer. If she does that, it means she's betraying Biden. So she just have to keep quiet. But Christie said no. She ought to say it in a polite way, like when they ask a question, it refers to Biden on regime. Actually, she cannot just be quiet. She have to sit and say that no. Maybe as a governor, there were many things that he was responsible, but they will blame other people. So there are some things that President Biden was responsible, but actually Kamala Harris is carrying like she's the one who did it, because as a vice president, she was just there without having a lot of saying to do. She was just sitting behind like any other person. So Christie was saying that the women in the view, some of them were not happy. They came against Christie. You cannot be talking like that to Harris, because what about Donald Trump who stand and dance for 1 hour? Donald Trump, and nobody's saying anything. He went to McDonald's, was making fun with it, because he claimed that Kamala have never worked in McDonald's. See, Kamala have never worked in any McDonald's, so he too will go and work in McDonald's. And everybody sees that he was just making a jest out of it, according to the women in the view, which was not serious, just something to pull Kamala out of it. He has always been saying that Kamala is Indian. Kamala is not black, which is a lie, because Kamala have never refused that she's not black. Kamala have to bring proof of her father carrying her when she was little, proof of her Jamaican lineage. So why will he just be saying such a thing like that? So looking at everything, the women in the views were saying that, but nobody is telling him to stop. Nobody is trying to correct him. Nobody is trying to say, President Trump, you're wrong for that. You stop accusing a woman. Why don't you just face your front? Stop calling her name for nothing. President Trump, you're not a good man. What are you doing? You're wrong for what you're doing. But yet, everybody keep chasing him. Everybody keep clapping for him. And it seemed like what he is doing is a good thing that he's doing. So the women in the view were not very happy about it. They said, no, enough is enough. Christie should not be talking not about Kamala. Christie have to focus on the wrong point of Donald Trump, rather than just focus on Kamala. Christie said 10 days ago, he could have voted for Kamala, but now she's afraid that Kamala might not win, because he's not here to criticize Kamala, but he's just here to give, as a politician who have been for a very long time, to give Kamala some secret that she can do. She can become a person out of her own. She can do her own things. She must not rely on President Donald Trump. She has to be dependent on her own self. Rather than focus on President Donald Trump, she can focus on herself. So the women in the view